back in the E38. This is a 740 IL 1997. So to get these seats out, we're up to the back part now. Said I was going to show you guys pretty much how to do this. So you have some bolts right by where the seat belt locks in, right here. And that bolt there looks like it got kind of rusty. So what I'm going to do with that, just to make sure that it doesn't snap off or anything, is I'm going to spray it with some PB blaster. Got to run to the hardware store and pick some of that up. Other side, there's that right there. That's what holds the seat belt part. You see this little seat belt part right here? That's attached to the actual seat right there. Okay, so if you don't take that off, the seat itself is gonna be latched onto the car. That has to come off. Right. Once that comes off, then we can start working this off. They bolt on from the bottom and they have clips on the top. Same thing on the bottom behind the seat belt. You're gonna have the bolt. It's just dirty as hell. It's right there. That's a 17, rusty ass 17. So spray some PB on that. And then the other one has one right over there. See that? So this is pretty much what you could use for that. Pretty much the bolts that are rusty. This PB blaster, spray it a little bit with that on there, should be fine. So I picked it up. Let's go back to the car. Okay. Pretty much with this, I got one hand, so this is going to be a no-brainer. You got to shake this up. Okay. And then the area, wherever you want, you're just going to spray it. Just pretty much get it on there. All right? There's nothing to it. I'm going to let that sit a couple minutes. Do the same thing to the other side. Very much. Now let that sit for a while. That's a 17 millimeter. I'm gonna get those bolts off with the 17 millimeter. Then from there, I'm gonna show you what size under there we gotta find to get the rest of this off. All right. Be back in a couple minutes. Let that sit there for a while. All right, that's a few minutes. Now, I'm going to keep that bolt because this comes with the other set of seats that I'm getting in black. And I already have the black ones of these, so that's going to come with just that, but it's not going to have the bolt. It's just going to have this piece right here. So I'm going to need the bolt. So make sure that you save the bolts. Now when it comes to where you're going to save the bolts, what I usually do is I put the bolt right back where it goes, right? So it reminds me of where I have to put it later on. That's usually what I do. Now if it doesn't fit there for whatever reason, or you can't like for instance, you can't leave it in that area, then you want to put it in a bag, a little plastic bag. So for this job, some plastic pieces or whatever that I'm gonna have to store away, I'll leave in the plastic bag. Now I know exactly where that goes. That exact bolt goes right there. So that's just a little tip that I use sometimes. All right, so that worked fine. I pretty much used this, sprayed it onto the rusty bolts, let it sit for a couple minutes, and I was able to get out these seatbelt latches. Okay, you got the 17mm bolt that's there. I actually put it back in the location. That's what I usually do. Whenever I remove something, this was right under there. That bolt was holding this onto that, and this is the seat belt latch part that goes to the seat. Okay, it goes in the seat, wedged in there, right? Actually goes that way. So this part had to come out. I'm gonna replace these. I have some black ones. When I'm doing the interior swap, I want everything to be black in here. That's why none of this matters. You see how all this looks? None of that matters. This is the other one I managed to get out on the other side. See? Now I'm able to clean all this area out. The seat belts right here in the center, they also have to come out. I haven't done those yet. I actually sprayed them already. I'm just waiting for that to sit a couple minutes, but I haven't taken those out yet. That's what I'm up to now. So I'm going to knock those out, just keeping you guys updated on how this seat removal is coming out. I'm doing it in steps because I don't have anybody holding the camera. You know, just bear with me. But these are the first videos. I'm not going to use no excuses. These videos are coming out whether I got to record them myself or not. So no big deal. I'm just showing you around pretty much the job that I'm trying to get done today. Get these doors off. I'll show you how I'm doing that. Get those 4 bolts out for the seat. Take those headrests off. And then get the seats off. All right. Be right back. There it goes. So I removed the seat belt from that location right there. I just kept the bolt there, you know, that's, you know, where I keep them. And I did the other side as well. All right, now the other side has the whole mechanism. Before I put that back, I'm going to clean that all off before I put that. That's the only reason why the bolt's out of there. So the bolt for that I still have. Got that in a safe location. All right, now the next thing that has to come off right in the corner here is that bolt right there. That's a 10mm. Both sides have one. That attaches to the bottom of the seat. Okay, so if you don't take that off and you just try to pull the seat up, you're gonna break the attachment point right there. A lot of people do that on this car. That's why they damage it. So the good thing is that most people don't have to take the seats out, but when they're parting the car out is when, you know, you gotta check for that. And that's attached to this trim, the door sill. That's what that's attached to. So that door sill has to come out when you're removing the seats. Get some light. It's that inner door sill right there. That has to come out. Got to remove that 10mm bolt in order to get these back seats out. Okay, so let me do that. I'll do it on both sides and I'll be right back. All right, so there goes the hole where that 10mm was, and that was actually this bolt right here. Came out of there. This one goes right there. Now that's for the door sill. But also attached to the door sill, before you can take it off, you see right here, has that plastic that's still attached, and that loops around right to there. So that attachment point right there. So don't forget to take that off too. That's also a 10mm on both sides, and that's how that door sill piece is gonna come off, okay? That right there, 10mm. And then that point. Those two have to come out to take off the door sill. and you got to get that on both sides. Be right back. Okay, they're off now. I got them off on both sides, as you can see. So I just wanted to show you where they're coming off from. This came out of here. See the orientation there? That goes in that notch. And then on the back, it has that, which goes into where that hole was right there. Now on the bottom, they have these clips that line up with those 4 holes right there. You just pretty much use some firm pressure and pull them up, and then they come right off. I did the same thing on the other side. Alright, those are off. That was what was attaching that metal bracket to the car so that the seat would be secure. Also, those 4 bolts were attaching the seat belt, so we got those off. Those were 17 millimeters. These were 10 millimeter. Now there's other brackets that are right there across. There's a few of them, and those are the ones that have to come off next. And then we can get the seats out. So get those off and I'll be right back. Okay, so that right there was holding on with this 10 millimeter cap. This on both sides, it had one on the other side too there. So I got those off. I also went ahead and got the top headrest off on the passenger side. This one is still on there. Pretty much all I did was in there was I just pulled it up, real hard yank on it, and it should come up. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, and then I'm gonna show you how to start getting these seats out. Okay, be right back. Okay, I went ahead and got this seat out just to show you what's going on with it before I take that one out. Now, for the most part, this is where the headrest was mounted, and you see these 2 hooks right here behind the seat latches onto these. Those like right there, they latch onto those. So that's how come the seat locks down onto those, and it pushes into this groove. See this body contour here? Matches up with this. So for the seats to come out, you're gonna want to pull forward and then push up, and then the seat will come out. So you're pulling the bottom out and you're gonna push it up so that you could pull it out of that contour and off of those hooks. Okay, that side's out. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. That's why I took one side out first. You know, since I'm doing this with myself, nobody holding the camera, I got to kind of map this out. This seat comes off a specific way. I'm going to show you on this seat, but now that I got that part off, I'm going to take the centerpiece out. It still has some 10 millimeter bolts attached to it. Now to get to those, what you got to do is you have to lift this forward. See, when this lifts forward and come to the bottom, and it gives you access to those bolts. Those are 10s. You see, if you lift that down, you get access to those 10 millimeter bolts, right? Just like that. Now that centerpiece come out the same exact way. It has these 2 little hooks here. There's going to be some tabs on the back right there. Those tabs line up with those hooks, and it slides on top of those. Same thing like how this seat, since it's the last seat, this bottom part, you're just going to pull it forward. So you're trying to get that body line out of that groove, right? Pull it forward, just like that. Pull it forward, and then you're just going to push it up and get it off. See? Just like that. See, with one hand, that's the best I can do, man. Please forgive me. I'm trying to make these videos as good as possible for you guys. So you just let me know what I need to do. I'm gonna get better angles on the camera for you. I know it's not that good, but that was pretty simple. You know, these things are not that hard, so I don't want to make it into a big ass project. It's just working by myself. So you just recap. We had to get that 17 millimeter on both sides and in the center. Those were holding the seat belts on. There's a 10 millimeter there, and there was a 10 millimeter there, holding on the door sills. The door sills latched into those holes right there with those tabs. Pretty simple. And then the headrests, they pop right off, and they lock right into these holders right here on both sides. So your headrest would slide right into these. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So now the back seats are out. I'm gonna get them out the car, and I'll pretty much be back and show you how to get the doors off in a second.